hate puppies. It's a good podcast.
I feel threatened.
I'm here.
Talk to me, Goose.
There he is. Stu is back.
How's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What's going
shit.
on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and hopefully helping you figure out what beer you should or should not be drinking this weekend. This week's going to be a little different.
Oh, it's fun. It's always fun.
It's always a little bit of fun. This is the episode nobody knew they wanted.
Exactly.
This is the one.
Oh.
I couldn't be more excited. It is literally Stu and I.
Yeah. So this is going to be a first.
No Troy, no Lee,
Yeah.
no Ely. Have we ever done one, just you and I?
No, I don't think so. And
Oh, good.
everybody's screaming right now. Don't leave him alone. Don't leave him alone.
It gets better. I'm sick,
Yeah.
and I'm sober.
That's a combination that doesn't happen too often.
No. This is an anomaly for me. I've stopped drinking. Not forever.
Oh, come on. Forever.
No. Not forever. No chance. But I have been on a world record bender.
And here comes the seltzer, non-alcoholic. What is that?
Yeah, that's a LaCroix.
LaCroix. Oh.
Because they didn't have any Topo Chicos, which is my
Go-to?
It's my seltzer of choice. It's been,
Oh, yeah. They also make a regular alcoholic seltzer, right?
yeah,
Topo Chicos?
a regular would be non-alcoholic, you lush. You see, that's how that works.
Okay.
A
So sorry.
seltzer has no booze in it. A hard seltzer,
Hard seltzer.
like what you have in your hand.
Yeah. Well, again, I guess you're not sober as soon as it hits your lips. I've only had a half a can.
Well, good for you. Yeah, I decided I'm done for a little bit. I just had to take a break.
Well, it's good. I mean, some people, you go hard for a while and your body just kind of gives out. But if you stick to a plan, I mean, like that whole no Monday through Thursday type scenario or Sunday through Thursday.
Which the podcast has ruined for me. I've always subscribed to that theory. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not drinking during the week. I like to drink,
Well-
on the weekends. But then in the middle of the week, we do a podcast, and it's like, well, 7 won't hurt.
Yeah. Well, and at the same time, we're not exactly on a timetable that is exact every week as far as doing it on the same day.
Well, that's been part of the problem.
So
as
it's
well.
it bounces.
I agree. That's been part of the issue. Is like I never know. So I can plan. I have the best intentions,
Oh, we all do.
but I have been on a significant bender that I did not anticipate. I think you probably haven't, but the listeners are fully aware of just everything in my life. I feel like just keeps turning upside down time and time again, and that doesn't lend itself to not drinking.
Right.
And then my wife and I decided to go out of town because we were like, no, we're going to go out of town in the middle of the week, just she and I,
Yeah.
like just kind of rekindle some things, like just talk through some stuff, right? Well, you know what helps with talking through some stuff?
Red wine?
Red wine, white wine, bourbon, gin, beer,
Yeah, it does help. It loosens you up a little
vodka.
bit.
All of those are things that I had in those 3 days.
Ouch.
Yeah. But so like I did that, and then we came home and it was the weekend. And then it was like I ended up seeing a buddy who had just lost a buddy. So
Yeah.
I was like, no, we should drink a dozen beers. So drank a dozen beers, and then like saw another buddy that weekend who had just lost somebody, and it was like, hey,
Yeah.
we should have a dozen beers. And like this just kept going. And then I went to my national sales meeting. Boy, people I haven't seen in 2 years who I love to drink with.
Well, so it's like you can have the best of intentions, but the one thing is, if you like to drink, then there's the occasion to have a beer or have a couple, but then if you really enjoy it, it always seems like you can always come up with one more excuse. Oh yeah, it's a vacation, or it's this, or it's that.
Yes.
And there's always something that's like, and it's not that you're planning to get hammered or do anything. It's like, oh yeah, so-and-so's in town. Or, you know what? It's Friday.
Yeah, why not? Let's have a couple.
Or I just got on a plane to go to a business trip. It's 8 a.m. I don't have any business till the next day. Plane's got free booze.
Yeah, I told my wife when we were out of town this past week, I was like, I'm going to take a couple weeks off. I was like, feel free to join me. She's like, that's your demon.
Ooh.
I was like, fair enough. Fair enough. So,
Need a little support here.
well, so I told her, I said, that's fine. You have a driver.
That's true.
So, good news. Well, I mean, she's put in at least 18 months over the years of driving me around, so I can do a weekend.
Well, and yeah, I would say that also pregnancies, that's always a good time.
For guys.
For us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I owe her 18 months. We're going to chip away at that 2 days at a time.
So 2 weeks. That's easy. You should be able to knock that out with no problems.
It won't be difficult. The podcast is the most difficult thing.
Well, you've solved that. We got that covered. We can get to that.
Yeah, there's going to be some disappointed people the next couple weeks. You know what I wanted to try? Have you tried that that new Coca-Cola that is the Starlight or Starfleet or whatever the hell?
No, I've had the hard sodas.
No, Coke came out with a new flavor that's supposed to taste like space.
What?
Yeah, that's what they said.
What is space?
Well, so apparently space is loosely based on Coke and cotton candy.
Oh.
Is kind of what I pieced together. But I was going to have that come on here and give that a shot, but nah.
I don't know if I ever did that as a kid. Or did people do that? They shove cotton candy into their Cokes?
No, not on my watch.
I don't know.
Like Coke needs more sugar.
Yeah. It's already got what is it? When you dry that out, you get a half cup of sugar in a can.
It's the worst. So I was at Disney this past week, which is why I'm sick, because Disney's a peach.
I can't understand. How are the lines?
Dude, you know what I never noticed about Disney? You know, those Disney Imagineers?
Yeah.
They came up with the brilliant idea to make lines appear shorter by creating the switchback system. You know the one where it's like the line goes and it switches back and comes right back along, switches back, goes along. And it'll do that a dozen times. Then you get inside. Now you're in a room. Switching back. And I had never really realized what a COVID incubator Disney was. Holy shnikes. You got to see the same asshole 30 times before you get in. And then that asshole, you got to multiply that by 1,000.
Yeah.
So you'd see the same 1,000 assholes 30 different times for, a couple minutes at a pop each time.
So over under, how many rides did you actually get onto?
Like per day?
Yeah. Was it the reason I asked that is I got to go to Disney World one time in March when there was nobody there. And I kept seeing the markers that said, it's an hour and 10 minutes from this point. It's 45 minutes from this point. I'm like, I would pull my fucking teeth out if I had to see that.
There were days where I could get 5 rides in, which is a good day.
Did you stay at the same place? I mean, did you go stay at Magic Kingdom all 3 days?
No, we did Magic Kingdom one day.
Okay.
Hollywood Studios one day, Animal Kingdom one day, but every night was ended at Epcot.
Oh, okay. So you had a pass to get around to all of them.
Yeah, because, Epcot's where you got to end up. That's where the food and the drinks are.
Well, they serve beer at the Animal Kingdom.
They serve beer everywhere but Magic Kingdom.
Right. No, that's...
Which is horrible because they still call a bunch of the places like Gaston's Tavern.
Yeah.
You go in, it's like...
Where's my big beer?
This isn't a tavern. There were cantinas and stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, go in. Nothing.
Did you get the turkey leg?
I did not get the turkey.
Did you see those things?
Oh yeah,
freaking massive.
Those were in Hollywood Studios. That's.
Oh, they were. I haven't been.
That's where you get them. You go down Main Street. They got a little Americana fair, and at Epcot in the American section.
Oh, okay. No, I just had them when I took the girls to Gaston's place.
Oh yeah, they got them there too.
I just remember the turkey leg there. I said, we'll take 2 to feed the family of 4.
You're damn right. That's the best.
And you're all about trying to save money. Like, how do I feed everybody without spending $80,000?
I haven't even looked at my credit cards. I assume I'm massively in debt.
Oh.
Because I didn't even, and I thought this time I didn't use the Magic Band. For anyone who's familiar with Disney, they'll give you a Magic Band and it's tied to a credit card, and you can just stick it on a machine. It goes bloop, and you're paid for. No receipt, no nothing, just move on. And I realized the last time I was there when I had like thousands and thousands of Magic Band purchases, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to use the Magic Band. But they all had like the credit card where you just touch.
Yeah, that's...
And I get just as giddy about touching a credit card versus swiping or inserting. So I still burnt through thousands of dollars. But it was the cotton candy that I refused. The girls would be like, let me get some cotton candy. And I'm like, absolutely not. That is 4 cents worth of sugar for $14.
Yeah, that's where all the profit's made.
Yeah, cotton candy. That's the one thing I put my foot down on. Absolutely not. At one point, though, I did walk into a place in Epcot.
Yeah.
And I walk up, and they were like, I was like, you guys have any Brunellos? It was this little, like Italian place. Brunello is like my favorite red wine.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you got any Brunello? The guy looks around, he's like, I do have a Brunello right here.
I'm a damn.
And he's like, it's $40 a glass. And then he goes, you want a short or a tall? And I'm like, well, clearly I want 2 talls. Dude, I spent like $120 on 2 glasses of wine. I was like, that was a mistake. But we had a blast.
Jeez.
After that. But it's like I wasn't even thinking.
And a tall glass is what, a full half pour of a wine glass?
It was 3/4 of the bottle got poured in.
Oh,
when it
so
was all
we're-
said and done. Because like he popped it and then just poured blah, 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 blah. I was like, all right, it's not the worst. It's a $100 bottle,
Yeah.
give or take. I don't know. That was a mistake though, because my wife had bought dinner. She hadn't picked up a tab the whole time we were there. And she picked up a tab and I was like, oh man, I'm rich. Like in my mind,
Yeah.
I just saved $250. So I was like, of course I want Brunello. Mistakes were made.
Yeah, I'm sure the credit card's melted now and it's saying you need a new limit.
It's bad. It's bad. But sure enough, in those incubation lines,
Yeah.
where I kept going back and forth, I picked up something. Like that last day, my throat was hurting, then I was achy. But I've taken a COVID test every day for 4 days.
Nothing.
I keep
Nothing.
popping negative. So I think I had one of those old-fashioned other diseases.
Head cold. Or
It felt worse than a head cold.
did your body ache?
Yes.
Oh, well, it probably could be just a flu or any crazy virus that doesn't test positive.
A flu. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Yeah, I got rid of that 2 years ago.
Yeah, not familiar with the old flu.
Yeah, it's funny with the magic bands that made me think. So got to go to London for 8 days on one of my excursions.
Yeah, you've been
lately.
gone for months.
I know. I've been out of touch really because it seems like every weekend or every other week I was just gone on a trip. But London is way far ahead on the entire economy or the entire day-to-day based on touchless. So the first thing I saw was when you take the tube to go anywhere on the subway, you could either purchase a pass for like the day
Okay.
or the week or whatever and have that pass. Or you just pull out your Wi-Fi debit card and tap the gate, go through the thing, and you tap it again when you get out.
Love it.
And I was like, sweet. Everywhere you went, every order was order at the bar, tap, pay, go sit down. They bring it to you. They've gone really, really big on the just no contact, as little as contact as possible because of COVID. So the restaurants everything was easy. It was more sped up, but they were just on top of. It's like, oh, this is dangerous because I don't even see what I'm doing.
You don't know what you're doing. It's just a tap, and then you move on. They say cheers, and you're like, cool, it's done. And then next thing you know, you're broke.
Yeah, I highly recommend if you guys get a chance to go to London, do it. And
London's a blast.
I was there 8 days and never went inside but one. I went in one building. I went in the National Maritime Museum that was in Greenwich, where the Prime Meridian was, and that was a cool place to see some naval history. But
you caught a match, didn't you?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. We did every single sightseeing thing, but didn't go into anything. I mean, we went to West End, the East End, Trafalgar Square, Hyde Park, Soho, Chinatown. They got a little Chinatown there. And then because I was like, well, we're here, we might as well go for it. So I looked online to find a soccer match or find a football game. And sure enough, there was one at Wembley. I was like, oh, great. We'll just go out to Wembley. Got a third-party guy, delivered the tickets via bicycle, and we went. And unbeknownst, the ticket that I bought was for the semifinals of the FA.
Yeah, I was about to say.
The FA Cup. Is that right?
Yeah. So I was shocked, though, when you were telling the story, you didn't bring up the fact that this was a huge playoff match.
So that's what
you didn't even know.
I didn't even know. I was just looking.
You were just like, I'm going to go.
I was like, I understand soccer. I played soccer. But when it comes to the leagues, the different types of league, who's in, who's not, why they have playoffs in the middle of the season, all that stuff I was clueless to. So I was like, I just want to go to Wembley. I've heard so many good things about just the stadium being massive and whatnot. So bought these 2 tickets. And really for $300, it was definitely worth it. We were 20 rows up in the corner, basically like sitting, at the corner kick, and could see everything. But what was interesting was it was Crystal Palace versus Chelsea semifinals, and it was an absolute
Sure, it was insane.
shit show.
Yeah.
The guys they don't sell you can't have beer inside. So
Well, how does that work?
it's the only event at Wembley, the soccer matches, the football matches, that you can't have beer at your seat. You have to walk back out to the concourse, grab it, drink it.
So you can get beer in there, but it's like a beer garden.
Well, no, just like any event, there's no garden. You just go to the concession stand.
But that's what I mean. There's
yeah.
a drinking area.
Well, no, you can walk around.
Okay. So
Yeah,
as
you
long
can
as you're
walk
not
through-
at your seat.
Right. The only thing you can't do though, you can't make a full circle, because, and I didn't realize this until I got there, looked at my ticket, and it says, and we just happen to be Chelsea section.
So now you're a Chelsea guy.
So much, and they happened to win, so that was even better.
That's perfect.
We were sitting, but they split the stadium in half, and you can't mix the teams
That's
because
how-
it's just so they don't get fights and stuff.
When
like that.
when I was in Italy and we went to see Pearl Jam, I was like, I can't believe I got these seats. And the reason I got those seats was because I was at the divider that goes all the way down, like it's a plexiglass divider.
Yeah.
Because that over there is the visitors and this is home, and they don't want us mingling because apparently we'll just kill each other.
Yeah. So
Who knew?
because you can't, and so you can't cross the divider. So there's a sea of red and a sea of blue. But come to find out, the whole alley that's like 10 blocks from the train station to the front of the Wembley Stadium, there's a bunch of bars and beer places, and that's what they do. Whatever the time the game was at, like 2:00 or 4:00, they get there at 9 a.m. and drink the place dry, and then they go in. So they're all hammered. And because they're, soccer is a kind of it's not a slow sport. There's always something going on, but as far as points scored, it's not heavy.
Yeah. So you
So this is where
kill the time by stabbing.
and singing. This is where the songs came into play. And those fans for Chelsea, even they were, they knew the ref's name. So there's only 3 refs. The center ref, who was making bad calls apparently, they start singing this, Taylor's a cunt, you fucking cunt. Like,
Because it's for kids. It's for
yeah,
kids.
it's great. But leave the match. Chelsea won 3-1, I believe, 3-2, 3-1. But saw four fights as we were leaving outside of the
So as soon as the dividers
walkway.
are gone.
Yeah, get outside of the stadium and just game on. It's like, holy moly! But it was a great time. That Wembley, did the London Eye. That's a pretty cool place to see everything from up high.
Yep.
And then we did take a day trip. It's the last stop on the train station, so it's about an hour ride from the financial district out to Richmond,
Yep.
which is where they filmed Ted Lasso.
Oh, you had to
And
go.
we went to the pub and the town, and it was great and quaint little town. It's probably like a bed and breakfast. I'd say it's like a small Charlottesville, but it's got a river that runs through it. It's great restaurants, all that good stuff. But we went to the bar.
The actual
they-
Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
bar.
where they filmed the stuff and hung out for a bit. And we almost were like, let's stay an extra day because the Tyson Fury fight was the next day at
Oh, yeah,
Wembley.
why shouldn't you go to the Tyson Fury?
Or Tyson? No, it wasn't Fury. Was it Fury? I can't remember. It was Tyson. It was a Tyson match.
It's
Tyson
Tyson
Fury.
Fury.
Yeah, Tyson's thing. But
It's not Mike.
yeah. We decided not to go, and sure enough, I look on the fan page for Ted Lasso, and they filmed the next night, so we missed him by 24
damn.
hours. There's Jason Sudeikis and Hannah and everybody hanging out, but it's a cool little place.
That's awesome, man. No, that sounded like a hell of a trip.
Yeah, I got Aaron was there for business, so she had 3 days of work, like Tuesday through Thursday. But yeah, it's a fun time. It's a fun town, and there's so much to see, and that place is so fucking old.
That's
Oh
the
my
thing. You
God.
don't realize it when you're walking around Europe. You're like, oh, that's been around forever.
Or walk down some back alley, and you're looking at this sign that says established 1410. I'm like, what the?
That's gross. We're over here like that house was built in the 50s.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, that was being a real estate agent. That was interesting. I talked to a couple people that the houses there and in the suburbs, some of those houses are pushing 200 years old.
Yeah.
So there's this whole like inspection clause that says, these are just as it is. You get houses of a certain age. You can't ask anybody to repair certain things because
Oh, really? So it's just waived.
there's they have codes and things like that, but some of these row houses and brick homes or whatever they are, they're so old. They're like, yeah, it doesn't pass anything, so you just got to take it as it is.
That's interesting. I didn't know that, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it's age.
Otherwise, you could just walk through and be like, you got to fix this. I mean, no, it just makes sense. Go in there, turn on the water. If you don't see it start pouring down from the roof, all right.
Yeah, but I do have to say, I kind of miss when you're in London. It's so big, you can't see. There's no panoramic until you get out of the city. So, like, you're standing on a street corner. All the buildings are at least 8 stories tall.
Yeah,
you can't see but so far, and then after a while you forget what grass is because there's no, you go to a couple rooftop places and that's cool. They got
it is an urban jungle.
Yeah, but it's old. It's that, like, I guess when you went to Italy, it's the same thing. It's not like you're downtown New York, you're seeing what would be considered newer buildings.
Yeah, but even like Rome had the foresight to be like, we're going to put a park over there.
Yeah.
New York definitely got it right. They were like, we need parks.
Well, that's like Buckingham Palace and Hyde Park. That's
about it.
Yeah. It reminded me of
that. It is concrete over there.
Yeah, it reminded me of the lawn in D.C.
Yeah, but it's cool, man. I've been there. It's a good time, to say the least. Those people are drunks. Like, I always hear the English accent, and I assume you're smart. As I've gotten older, now I hear that accent, and I assume they're dumb.
Well, it's funny. The accent. So I don't think I have an accent.
Oh, you do over there?
Well, one, I had an American accent, so that's first off. But then
I kept meeting girls, and they were like, "I love your accent." I was like, "You're damn right you do."
Well, that's the thing. Is we were hanging out with this one guy, and he's like, "Man, I wish I could take you out." And we were single. And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Because your Southern accent kills it around here. Most of the women don't really care for Americans, but you get a Southern accent in here." I was like, "I don't think
you sound Southern to them."
And he was like, I was like, well, and he said, yeah, because most of the people we deal with, now granted, this guy's in insurance. He's like, most of the people we deal with are coming over from like Chicago and New York and, other places. I'm like, okay, so you want me to talk like this and we'll just keep going?
Yeah, you're just slaying.
He was like, we got to go out. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I remember the very first night I got to London.
Yeah.
I was talking to this girl and she was just like, oh my gosh, your accent. I was like, really? I'm like, okay, don't mind if I do.
Well, like, it took me. I can understand.
Did you still see? Do people still drink Budweiser over there? Like, it's like high end stuff.
No, I would say I didn't see.
The last
you could
time
ask for it, but I didn't see a whole lot of it.
The last time I was there, it was like all of the douchebags were drinking Budweiser. You know how, like,
when was that?
This has been 20 years.
Yeah, so that might be why.
So, but it was like, I remember all of the guys. It was the equivalent of like drinking a Heineken here.
Oh, okay.
Like you always see the guys drinking Heineken, and they're always like dressed up and like macking girls. They got their Heineken.
It was Budweiser.
And over there, it was always Budweiser, and those guys were all dressed up in suits and macking girls in their Budweiser. And I was like, all right, fair enough.
Well, the one thing I found out about the beer, like, there's tons of options, but everybody, it's standard practice. Beer, lunch, beer. Start at 4:00. Meetings are done. Everybody's at a pub. But the Guinness was like, I couldn't find a beer. It was hard to find a beer that was on tap 5% or over 5.2. Like, even this IPA was called Neck Oil. It was 3.8. Like,
see, that's because Americans have lost their damn minds.
Well, but at
we're
the
like,
same
if you
time,
can't light that beer on fire, it's not American.
Right. So, but at the same time, it made a lot of sense to me. I was like, well, no wonder they can drink all day. Well, eventually you're going to get drunk, but when you're drinking 4% beer, which was what the majority of the lagers and pilsners were, it's not going to. You can still operate and run a business.
Well played, London.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they got it going on over there though. When it just comes to a lot of the tech stuff,
I saw a lot of London in Epcot Center. So I feel like I went.
Oh, you went to?
I feel like I went to London. I was at like the Rose and Womble. Got myself a Guinness. Got a Bass. I mean, that felt very London. What did happen to me at Epcot? We were walking into the bathroom there, and it was like it was the future world, right? Like Epcot when you first come in.
Yeah.
It's like it's the future from the 70s, and so I walked in. I made this joke to my daughter. I go, now that's a future bathroom. I was like, you don't even have to pee. The toilet pees for you. And she was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, it's the future. It's great. You just walk up and the toilet pees for you. She was like, haha, funny, Dad. So I go walking in the bathroom and it is like completely packed right in my bathroom. And the floor is soaking wet.
Oh.
The whole place is packed out. There's people at every urinal. And I walk up to the one open urinal. And I recognize that it's a little higher than it should be, but I'm like, no big deal. I start peeing in it, and it's just like steady flushing as I'm peeing in it. And I'm like peeing. I'm like, oh no, this thing really is gonna pee on me. And it just dumps. All of a sudden, just douche. Like a whole flush came down. It douches out on my shoes. And I don't know what to do because it's hard to pull a pee back.
Yeah, you wonder why you're getting sick.
Yeah, and so I back away from the toilet, dong out. Like I didn't even have time to react because it was peeing on my foot.
Yeah.
So I back away from it, dong hanging out.
Stream working.
I'm trying to pull the stream back as I'm waddling away. I'm like, and I'm shutting it down. But then I'm the guy with his dick out, running down like past all the other people until I found an empty one and then threw my junk in that one. Yeah, it was horrible. So like a bunch of people in Epcot, after I'd made the joke that the toilet pees for you, it did pee for me, and then they all got to see my dong as I waddled, aggressively.
More or less it peed on you.
It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. That's for sure. And then I walked back out. I was like, honey, to my daughter, I was like, turns out that wasn't a joke. That thing really did. It peed on me.
Oh.
I left out the part where my dick was hanging out, and I ran around.
So this would have been, geez Louise, 90, 98, 97, I guess. Went to, a buddy of mine worked at, and you may have heard this, but I don't think the listeners had, but a buddy of mine that I was in the Navy with lived outside of Rockingham Motor Speedway and in Ellerby.
Okay.
And actually this was 98. We'd just gotten out of the Navy, and he picked up a job at an HVAC company that had the contract. It was an HVAC plumbing company that had the contract to service the Rockingham track.
For all the pissers?
Just in general. Yeah, pissers, anything. Plumbing, HVAC, the boxes, whatever. So, long story short, we have full access passes and we have a golf cart. He's got his tools and a cooler of beer, and we're just on call.
Living the dream.
Anything to happen. We're in the infield. The driver's bathroom gets a call saying, hey, we got a backed up toilet, a urinal that needs to be flushed out.
Yeah, Earnhardt plugged it.
Well, he didn't plug it.
Oh no!
So we go to this restroom, driver bathroom, and I'm sitting in the golf cart, and Dave goes in, and they were supposed to secure the water so that he could unscrew the top of a urinal, and flush it out, plunge it out, and then put the top back on, and they turn the water back on. Well, he goes in there, and just so happens the urinal he's got to work on, Dale Senior's in the one right beside him. So what they forgot to do, or at least Dave maybe went in a little early, or hadn't waited, and he didn't really check. He went and screwed the top.
Oh no!
So when you unscrew the top, it's kind of like a fire
pressurized
hose.
Water.
When you unscrew the top, that mechanism, you don't have to flush. It just lets the water come through and down. Well, when he unscrewed it, all this water rushed out, went down to the urinal, and splashed out. I didn't know any of this until later. All of a sudden, I just see Senior come out. And I'm like, oh shit, that's Dale.
Smells like piss.
Didn't say anything, didn't do anything. And then Dave walks out and he's like, well, looks like Senior's going to be racing with the wet left leg, because apparently they all came out and his left side of his driver's suit just got completely splashed. That's my urinal story.
It's not the worst accident, Dale.
No.
Dale had worse accidents.
Yeah. Okay, you went there.
It's documented. I mean, I don't have to. Yeah, it's just a fact.
Yeah, you can Google it.
Yeah, Google it. You'll figure it out. Yeah. Something else when I was in Disney, I didn't realize this is Pride Month.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had no idea it was Pride Month.
Okay.
So I get to Disney, and we go in like the Magic Kingdom, and I mean everywhere I'm going, there's rainbow flags everywhere. All the guys and gals are dressed in rainbow gear, and I'm thinking to myself, "Wow, this is that whole." This is the ramifications of the DeSantis don't say gay policy. Like they're all just coming here because Disney was so much like, screw that. We don't feel that way. Like all are welcome. So I just assumed that's what was going on. But like the more we walk around, I'm feeling weird that I'm not gay. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like to that point where I'm like, boy, I am like straight. How gross. like it just felt weird to be like, because literally everyone I'm meeting is fabulous and dressed up and looking great and doing their thing.
Was it hot?
Oh yeah. Tank tops, short shorts.
Damn.
You name it. But so like, I'm like, man, I was like, this is crazy. Like they are really coming out in force. And it wasn't until like day 2 that I said something to my wife. I was like, man, I mean, this is crazy. And she was like, well, it's Pride Month.
That's Pride.
I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense.
I thought they were celebrating Hawaii.
But I mean, like everything was like, there were rainbows on. Like Disney had gone all out. And I just didn't. It never occurred to me. But I was just like, I feel so weird being straight. I suck. Like I need to be better. Like it was like. By the end of it, I had an afflicted accent.
I mean, I think everybody's. I've seen the rainbows in a lot of different places. Even heck, the Paramount Plus logo, like on.
Well, you need to go to Disney.
It's even got the rainbows on there.
Disney's the spot.
It's the spot. It's the hot spot.
It was the spot.
I can't imagine.
I mean, it was wild. Bears, twinks, you name it. And all the bears are embracing it, wearing their big like hug a bear shirts and everything. Like,
hug a bear.
It was awesome. You're familiar with bears and twinks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't have to explain this to you, right?
No, trust me. I'm well aware of the community.
The bears were so proud, and it was just so good to see like these big hairy men in the short shorts, like just letting it fly, man. I was like, hell yeah, you go bears.
Damn.
It was well, and I saw. In the wild, the truest unicorn there is.
Uh-oh.
The rarest thing you can see. What do you think in that world would be the unicorn?
The unicorn? Oh.
The hardest thing to find. Some people say it doesn't even exist.
You got me on that then. Because
I'm talking 2 true, gorgeous, lipstick lesbians. You know how typically you get
yeah.
You'll have one that's a little more masculine.
You know who's playing which side of it.
Yeah, you're kind of I'm talking these 2 women were like stunning. Like had me stopped in my tracks, and I'm like these women are so gorgeous. And then I realized the little girl's calling them both mom.
Ooh.
And they're all dressed up like Minnie Mouse, and they're spotted dresses, and like
damn.
They were the most beautiful women ever. And I was like, there it is.
The unicorn.
Some people say it doesn't exist.
It's
but
right there.
It is. Like, truly 2 just drop, just 10s.
I wonder if maybe Disney gave them special tickets. Said, come on, hang out.
I don't know. I actually brought it up to my wife. You know it. You know they're hot when you're like, honey, we got to talk.
Right. Like, or if she says, or if your wife says, yeah, they're good looking.
Yeah, but she even admitted, she was like, yeah, you don't see enough of that.
Yeah.
That was kind of her take. And I was like, no. I don't know that I've ever
seen 2 hotties.
Like 2 that gorgeous. Like,
damn.
That's the one, man. That's the unicorn. I wanted to go get a picture with them like it was Gaston or like Ariel, you know? I want to be like, can I get a picture with you? Like, what a magical day.
Yeah, where's Mindy or Minnie when you need her?
Yeah. Oh, Minnie, come quick.
Come quick.
You're going to love this. You're going to see this.
Need to put you in the middle of this.
Yeah. Minnie, come on. I told you we'd find him. We're having a 4-way.
Yeah, that's
like every guy's fantasy. That's
2
always,
lesbians and a mouse.
That's always the dream, right? Like you never, well, it'd be 2 mice. 2 mice. 2 mice, 2 just gorgeous lesbians. But I was blown away. I was just so happy to see it. And it took finally going to Disney, the most magical place on earth. I finally saw it. I mean,
they said it was magical.
Stunning. I was just like, well done, ladies. You
Blondes,
found each
blondes,
other.
brunettes.
One blonde.
No
one
way.
brunette.
You
Yes.
can't. Where's the redhead to complete the trilogy?
It was unbelievable. When the little girl finally was like, hey, Mom, they both turned. I was like, yes, it's real. Because I didn't know maybe they were best friends. Nope. 2 moms. They were both taking care. I was like, this is beautiful.
I could have been stepmom and ex husband's not in the picture there because he went to go get something for them to drink. It's a family vacation.
0 chance. Trust me when I tell you that I invested at least 20 minutes of my time sticking very close to these women. I know everything.
Brendan's kids are like, "Where's Dad?" Your wife is like, "Well, I don't know. They're in line for 45 minutes. You can go till some time."
Oh no, because we were in the teacup line together.
Oh,
So like I got
keep
to
passing them.
I got to do the back and forth. Got COVID from them. Was able to do the whole teacup thing. Then they were in there spinning, and just so many things I could talk about there. And then they got out, and then we went.
Never look at a teacup the same way.
And then when
again.
we got out, I was like, well, they're going to be gone. Nope. They were sitting right there on the ledge. And I'd be damn if my wife and kids weren't like, let's take a break and figure out what we're doing for lunch. And I was like, yes, please, let's take a break.
Yes.
We can sit right here while I continue my research.
Yes, I'm going to go buy everybody ice cream. Do you think those two ladies would want some ice cream?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to need 6 ice creams. None for me.
Yeah, no.
It was heavenly. It was heavenly.
Oh.
Most magical place on earth.
Hey, man, yeah.
I've seen it all.
We did the one full day in the Magic Kingdom, and it was a full day. We got there at 9 and didn't leave until after the fireworks. And
That's a full day.
I've got a picture of me carrying my youngest in my arms. She's just down to sleep, and we're walking down Main Street, and the fireworks are going off behind my head. It's like, yeah, that's a full fucking day.
That's beautiful, though.
It was. Yeah.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, definitely. Did you do any princess dinners, or were your kids past that?
No, but we did that the last time I was there.
Oh, okay.
That's when I started falling in love with Jasmine.
Ooh.
That's a whole nother story. We did this princess dinner.
Yeah.
We're sitting
Oh,
there,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And all the princesses come in, and then Jasmine comes in.
Different outfit.
Oh, dude, different outfit. Yes,
Yeah.
very different.
Oh, yeah.
A little less flowy, a little more tight, a little more skin. Jasmine comes walking in the room, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, she is gorgeous. And I keep making comments. I was like, girls, get a picture with Jasmine. Come on, go, get a picture with Jasmine. And my wife's mom, she was there.
Oh, okay.
And she flags Jasmine down and goes, my son-in-law is a big fan.
Oh, no.
He would like a picture with you. And so I'm like, I'm mad, but at the same time, I'm like, you're brilliant.
Yeah.
And so I get this picture, like my arm around Jasmine.
Yeah, yeah.
And for years, the girls kept it on the fridge because they were like, Dad loves Jasmine, and kept putting it up. And I'm like, you guys have no idea. Like,
Right.
that's evil. Like, what you're looking at is all evil thoughts. Like, that is just, there's a devil on each shoulder and a
Right.
Jasmine in my arms.
There wasn't the thought process isn't what you're thinking it is.
No, they were like, he just loved Jasmine. Like, he had so much
Yeah.
fun. And they kept that thing on the fridge for years. Every time I'd walk by, I'd be like, Jasmine.
And this time you go back and everybody's like, who's the single white guy in line for Jasmine?
Pretty much.
By
Pretty
himself.
much. I actually never even got to see Jasmine this whole trip. And I was disappointed because I was looking for Jasmine.
Damn.
Like, I saw Ariel. I saw all kinds
Yeah.
of stuff. Saw some good stuff. I saw an overweight, middle-aged Peter Pan.
What?
On a float. No, like on a float.
Oh.
Like he must have been like the understudy, and like Peter got sick because all of a sudden they put this guy up there, and I'm like, Peter Pan's a boy. Like,
No, Peter Pan's about 60 now, based on when the movie came out.
well, this dude was probably 40,
yeah.
and he was just kind of like just pudgy in all the wrong places, and I'm like, that is not Peter Pan. He's waving to everybody on the float, and I'm like, you've ruined.
You watch all these backstories about these people that work at Disney and how the company can be somewhat of a quote unquote slave driver for the actual employees that are doing these costumes and they have to look and be in certain way, all this, and
that's why this had to be an understudy.
Yeah, I'm like,
Peter had to have
they're
gotten
usually
sick.
tight on
So tight.
what they look like and who looks
every
like.
other one that came by was just perfect, and then Peter comes around and it's just this schlub, and I'm like, come on. And it's Pride Week.
Yeah.
Like, you could have done better. Like we're all disappointed right now.
Who'd you hire? The peanut butter guy?
It was like the peanut butter guy after 40 years of eating the peanut butter.
yeah.
It was so disappointing.
No, Peter Pan the kid, not Peter Pan the peanut butter.
I couldn't believe it.
That's hilarious.
An overweight, middle-aged Peter Pan. I was like, you're ruining the magic. You're ruining the magic.
Did you guys? So I'm assuming you flew down.
We flew down. Like I said, I had my national sales meeting, so I flew down before, and
Yeah.
then they flew in and met us. And then flying back, interesting little tidbit, I was sleeping next to a sleep screamer, or I was sitting next to a sleep screamer. So I was on the aisle. Her husband was in the middle, and then she was on the end.
Oh, okay.
And when she would fall asleep, she'd fall asleep and then go, ah! And then
Is this lady like elderly? Older?
Older, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. But I was like, what the hell is this? Like, she would fall asleep. Ah! And then he'd be like, honey, you're good. You're good. And then she'd fall back asleep.
She's
Like,
having a reoccurring falling dream or something.
Something was going on.
So was this
like,
audible? Like,
yeah.
not just you, but people aisle behind you?
I mean, I would assume the people in our direct vicinity were fully aware she was a sleep screamer. It was the weirdest, because that first time, man, I thought we were going down.
So the reason I was asking, because I've flown a lot in the last 2 years, and it was enjoyable not to wear the mask.
Yeah, I was wearing the mask.
Were you?
Yeah, well, I didn't. My throat was hurting when I was coming back. I was like, my throat
so you were
hurts.
feeling bad before you even got on the plane.
I was like, I had a sore throat.
Yeah.
And I'd been partying for it, and I was like, the least I could do is wear like a level 3 mask. Like I was masked up when I walked in that place. I was like, nope,
Gotcha.
not for me. I didn't want her to wake up screaming for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't feel good. Like, nah.
Sat next to this lady.
But I mean, it was just a sore throat. But I'm like, in this day and age, I don't know what a sore throat is. Haven't had a sore. Now, granted, I'd been drinking for weeks.
Yep.
Not sleeping. I'm sure that had something to do with it.
I didn't. Yeah, when we went over to London, that long flight, we got to drinking, and
You can't wear a mask when you're drinking.
Well, we didn't have to wear a mask.
Okay, so this was after.
This is after the removal of the mask mandate, and we flew first class, which was great. Long flight.
Oh, of course you did. No, that's not what I was.
But we actually drained the someone else drained the plane dry of Prosecco.
My wife was on the flight.
It was Erin. We enjoyed ourselves very, very much, but so much to the fact that when we arrived at London, it was 10 a.m. and we were like, okay, we got to stay up as long as possible just to make it.
Move. That's it.
And we made it till about 9 p.m. their time.
That's right. You stay up until a reasonable bedtime, no matter how delirious you are, because then if you pass out, then your clock is reset. Jet lag's for suckers.
We woke, we both did. We woke up the next day, probably maybe 9 o'clock. I mean, we slept pretty hard, but we both were not feeling 100% based on, being in a pressurized metal can, drinking, time lag, everything. So I did my first IV bag.
Oh, disgusting.
And it was actually well worth it. I mean, $99, get your fluids back in you. It helped with the jet lag, I'm sure of it. My hangover went away pretty quickly. And
it's disgusting.
Why do you say disgusting?
Because you're putting a needle in your arm to get rid of a hangover. It's just it's a lot.
Well, people buy Advil. People buy everything, but
it's a bridge too far for me. I've never done it.
Oh,
I've never done it. I've seen it advertised all over.
Like it was like a 2-block walk. Went in this place. It was very hygienic. You had to fill out the screen, fill out all the testing and everything, and then we had a IV bag and B12 and all this other stuff that's in the bag already. And
so it's not just water.
No. They have levels of what you want, and there was people that were like, "Oh yeah, come to find out, there's somebody I know that has a subscription to it. Does it once every 2 weeks just for,
Well, the B12 alone. Oh
yeah, well, there's B12, a couple other vitamins that were in the bag. It wasn't just saline. It wasn't like
I always assumed it was saline, so that makes a little more sense.
No, they actually there's the cheap bag is the hangover bag. It's the $99, but they had bags that were all the way up to like $250, $300, and there was a couple, an older couple that was like, well, yeah, we come in here regularly just to get hydrated, and come to find out, most people are not hydrating enough, just in general, in their day-to-day drinking enough water. So people if you got the money, there's worse things you can spend it on, I guess.
Speaking of worse things to spend money on.
What a segue.
I have right here. You hear that? It's a true draft. It's a true draft. It's got the widget in it.
It's going.
This, my friend, is a non-alcoholic Guinness.
Wow. So
I am ecstatic to try this.
I got to let this thing sit for a second. While
Yep, I got to let the
charges up.
Let it charge up. But that right there is the new non-alcoholic Guinness Draft.
Have you noticed though more companies are actually putting out?
You know what's funny is
non-alcoholics?
about 3 years ago, we had Taylor Carson on the show, and he doesn't drink. So
Yeah.
I wanted to go out and find some good non-alcoholic beers. None of the local breweries were doing it. Couldn't find anything good in the stores.
Yeah.
Now every brewery has one. Everybody's doing it on some level. This is the golden age. Now Guinness
Has joined the club.
Oh, I hope this is good. Here we go.
All right, I'll let you give it a shot. Let's see here.
Huh. Surprisingly good.
Well, yeah. I mean,
It's a little more malty
Yeah.
than a typical Guinness.
and you're getting I think I'm getting a little bit more of a. I think more of the flavors on the back end. It's not all up front. Like I think a regular Guinness seems to be from head to tail, start to finish, like the full flavor.
Yo, these are going to be dangerous.
What do we got?
Because they still have 13 and a half carbs,
and 0.5% alcohol.
69 calories. Yeah.
So this is 14.9 fluid ounces.
Dude, this is,
Zero.
so far, this is pretty
I have to go this
pretty
again.
good for a non-alcoholic. I mean,
Yeah, it's smooth. It finishes smooth.
I'm not
It goes-
missing much. There's a slight,
I just think it doesn't have quite as. Maybe it's just because I haven't had a Guinness in a little bit.
it's a little more
But-
malty. It's a touch more sweet.
Yeah, like the flavor is just a tad.
Just a tad off, though. It's not like way
maybe
off.
and that's the flavor that I'm missing is the alcohol.
Yeah.
Which that's just flavoring. It's not necessarily you need the alcohol.
No, that's wild.
Which is coming 4-pack.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Well,
charge more, give you less. It's Guinness.
so they've gone with the blue highlighting.
Yeah,
around
otherwise
the
it looks
can.
like a Guinness, but the top and bottom has a blue.
Yeah, and the big zero in the center of it gives it away. It could be 0 calories. You never know until.
Yeah, right. Huh.
Well, malted beverage with natural flavors. Go Guinness.
I tell you, that's pretty tasty.
Yeah, you know what though? This is a good Guinness. It tastes good because as I'm drinking it, I know when I drink Guinness, I am not drinking more than 2 of them regardless. I just can't pile them on like a regular beer anyways, regardless of what the alcohol content.
Yeah, I can pile them on all night.
Can you?
Oh, I love Guinness.
Oh, I mean, I mean, most of the time when I order a Guinness, believe it or not, is if it's lunch or brunch, I'll order it as an early beer.
If I was in an Irish pub the night before and I don't shit black the next day,
There was a problem.
then I didn't do my job. Now I can drive
Yeah.
and still shit black. Well, that's a win.
Well, so for rating purposes, have we? Because I don't know and I can't remember if
I
we've
always
ever
say
done
it-
have we done a non-alcoholic beer for it?
We did once and it got like a 1.5. It was bad.
So we can't put this on the comparison spectrum with just beer, or can we? Is that the playing
It
field?
would be difficult to classify it as a beer. But I'll tell you,
No, it's beer.
non-alcoholic or alcoholic, I'd still give this, I'd say alcoholic, it's a 4 because it's just a hair off.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic is a 4.5. And the only reason I don't give it a 5
Yeah.
is because I still wonder if there's something better, but I don't see how it.
So I
could
think, I think the bump up score goes for it for being non-alcoholic.
That's what I'm saying. If I put it into a category,
Yeah.
it gets an extra point. That's fantastic.
So you're going 4, or you're 4.5 for the non-alcoholic,
Depends how the Abacus wants to rate it. It's
but-
either a 4.5 or a 4.
but we already have a baseline that you're a Guinness lover.
I am, so I'm a bit,
You're a bit skewed.
yeah. But I think it's just a little lighter.
Yeah.
Air more malty, maybe a touch sweeter, but it's fantastic. I love it.
So believe it or not, I like the blue they chose for the label. It pops out there. It's kind of a darker royal midnight. I don't know. It's a good color.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, but black and blue. I'm going to give it. I'm going to actually say I would have given it a 3.5 if it was a regular Guinness. Probably because I like Guinness.
So if this had booze in it.
If this had booze in it, I'd probably give it a 3.5. But I'll go ahead and do what you're saying because it is so close.
So close.
So you're getting points for mimicking something that you're not.
Yeah, like O'Doul's is not a good beer.
No, not at all.
It's not even a good approximation of a beer. It's off.
I mean, what is it? Omission. They do a pretty good job of it.
I've got one for next week too.
That's gluten free. That's a non-alcoholic.
I got a non-alcoholic beer for next week because 2 episodes.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to be slow and low.
That's fine. I'm going to go 4 then, because Guinness is great marketing regardless. The fact that if this was a regular Guinness, I'd still give it a 3.5. So I'll give it the extra half point. So we're giving it a 4 because it's doing a great job of mimicking its big brother.
I think when people come over who aren't drinking, I'm going to slide them this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had the Heineken non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Not as good. I've had some of the local non-alcoholics, not as good. This is pretty damn good.
So you need to, now we probably have to wait a little while, but the ultimate would be somehow getting a non-alcoholic draft pour or pouring it in a glass and saying, hey, this is Guinness, but not saying it's non-alcoholic, and see what people's reactions are to it.
I think some people would actually like this more.
Blind taste test, not telling them.
Because it's a little lighter. I think some people might be like, oh, that's a better Guinness.
Yeah. Different version.
Yeah.
2.0.
It's a new Guinness. Like new Coke.
So I wonder if you can even get these in Ireland. They probably laugh you out of the building.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I assume they're made in Ireland, right? Yeah.
Didn't pull
Brewed in Ireland, St. James Gate, Dublin.
Imported, yeah, by Diageo. Drinkio.
There you go.
So, it's made there. It doesn't mean they have to distribute there.
I would assume they do.
Yeah.
There has to be at least 3 people over there who've quit drinking.
And everybody knows who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't go see Danny.
Oh, Patrick and Danny and old Tommy over there. They're the worst.
Coffee drinkers.
Yeah. They remember everything. Can't stand them.
Yeah. If you need anything tomorrow, come ask Danny.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll remember.
Yeah, Patty's got it. I like that.
That's cool.
I might actually drink. Now, part of the whole not drinking, though, is to also cut some weight. So drinking an 11 some carb.
Yeah, this is not cutting weight.
It.
This is, it's still a full meal.
Yeah, I'll probably stick to my Topo Chicos over the next.
Topo Chico.
But I might slip one of these in every night. I mean, that's a tasty beer.
Well, so I remember a while back ago, I quit drinking for about 3 months.
That stuck.
And kind of going through. You go through some things and you got to deal with it, or you just realize, hey, I just want to take a break, give my body a rest for a second.
Well, I think that's kind of where I am. I've been dealing with a lot of things, and I've been dealing with it one way.
Yeah.
And maybe I shouldn't be dealing with it that way. Maybe I should eat a little better, stop drinking, maybe go for a walk.
Yeah. It's called middle age.
I think it's called just waking up.
Yeah. So, but it did, what I did find out is that it wasn't so much the alcohol that I was really craving. It was that I am just 100% love carbonation.
I that's why I have all of the seltzer waters.
Yeah.
Because I can sit here and pound seltzer waters all night and never think twice about it. It's not the booze as so much as it is the action.
Because if you give me, which I love, they have still, flat, and bubbly water over in London. You get 3 options.
Of course.
Because still is out of a bottle, flat is tap, or you get bubbly water.
And gas.
Yeah. So But for me, if you gave me an option of a regular bottle of water and like a cold bottle of Perrier, I can take the Perrier all day long just because I like the carbonation.
Feel like I'm drinking.
Yeah, kind of. But I mean,
I also
in
like the
middle
way
of
it
day,
feels on my stomach.
Yeah.
Like I always just feel a little better after I have one.
That's after the carbonation or a beer?
No, like bubbly water.
Yeah, bubbly water.
It always makes my stomach feel a little better. Get a couple burps up.
Yeah.
You know,
Get you flushing.
Clean some stuff out. Yeah. Be like, man, I haven't had a Euro in 3 weeks, and I just burped up Euro.
Well, you're on a path to maintain your burps and your black shits. So
Guinness,
Guinness,
non-alcoholic draft. I couldn't recommend this more.
Where'd you pick it up at?
I had to go to Total Wine because I was scared that they wouldn't have it anywhere else.
That's probably a good shot. Good thought.
Yeah, I drove right past all my regular haunts.
Because I would imagine this is not something that the distribution companies are getting requests from, the stores and restaurants.
I can tell you this. All of the non-alcoholic beers were there, and I went down to the bottom shelf where the Guinness was, and it said sold out. And I was like, son of a bitch. And I looked all the way in the back, and there was one left.
Oh, you had to laugh.
So it apparently sells.
So what were some of without saying what's next, what were some of the other ones?
Omission, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
was there. Buckler, always.
Buckler.
I like Buckler's always been my go-to up until now.
What's the other? There's a couple of others.
St. Pauli has a
St. Pauli's.
fantastic one. There were a lot of local breweries with them. Sam Adams had a IPA.
Okay.
There were a couple different IPAs out there, but then there was a couple people that were promoting their non-alcoholic beers as low-cal, low-carb, and they would have a Hefeweizen and an IPA. And I saw that, and I thought, okay, now this is interesting. Like,
right.
They're going after like more of a fit audience.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense, right?
Because you don't want you want the taste, but you don't want the empty calories.
Yeah,
which is what alcohol is.
This gives me both. I get the empty calories and the taste. Actually, the calories 69, so not horrible, but those carbs make up for it.
Yeah, that's where you're going to lose out.
I mean, it's got a damn near a dozen carbs.
This is I guess not knowing all the different makers of non-alcoholic beer, I'm sure that you saw a ton, but this was on the bottom shelf. I would say this is top shelf non-alcoholic.
Obviously,
Guinness?
they're not promoting it, but it was selling. And like I said, Heineken has a non-alcoholic, and you can see that in just about every grocery store now.
Yeah,
they do a good job of distributing that one.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't been in a Total Wine in a while, actually. But
sorry, I forgot to hit the mute button on that one.
Going to do a little local plug real quick for Kindred Spirit.
Oh, what are the odds?
This weekend we're releasing strawberry milkshake. So
the lactose beer is back.
Yeah, and this year the strawberry crop was pretty good. We're doing about
great, grand, wonderful
pound of strawberries to every gallon of beer. So it's got a real good strawberry flavor to it, and it's about 40% lactose. So you get that creamy, rich milkshake flavoring to it. But it goes pretty fast. It usually only lasts. We get it in.
Please say more than 2 weeks.
No, I'll say 2 months.
Okay, good.
Because it's a summer.
I do love that beer.
Yeah, people have been.
But this week, I'm taking off.
That's fine. I'll grab you a 4-pack. Actually, that's about right. I don't want to grab you a keg of milkshake because that's just too much.
It's too much. Plus, the kegerator's all broken. Everything's screwed up around here, man. Can't get the kegerator to work. Everything's busted.
Well, real estate.
Something that did work.
Go ahead. I was going to let you go ahead.
You've been gone for a couple months.
I'm over talking to you. I don't want to.
I got one more Disney story.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Because I have been waiting for over 2 years to get on the Rise of the Resistance ride, the Star Wars.
But that's not in. See, I only went to Magic Kingdom, so I haven't gone to the other ones.
Oh, you're fucking up.
Well, I've heard some fantastic things, so I'm about to hear another one.
Yeah, you're fucking up.
Yeah, but is it worth the money?
To be able to go to all those other ones? No, nothing's worth Disney money. Like the only thing worth Disney money would be like if you could get a limitless pill. Like you could take it and be a genius and like rule the world. That's the only thing worth Disney money. Outside of that, a good substitute is Disney.
Oh.
But 2 years ago we went there right before COVID hit. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
I was there the week before they shut it down.
Yeah.
And Rise
I
of the
remember that.
Resistance had just come out. And every morning I was doing the thing, get up at 7, try to get in, try to do it. And like, I couldn't get in the ride. They had this virtual queue system.
Oh, that's no
Couldn't get on the ride. Failed miserably. And it broke my heart because I was there for like 4 days and I couldn't pull it off, you know?
That sucks.
And I was like, I'm horrible. So this time we went back and I was like, I've got one goal. I want the Rise of the Resistance ride. Like, I am going to get on this ride. And now you can just wait in line for 2.5 hours.
So they didn't have. I was just getting ready to ask, is there any way to make a reservation for the ride?
Kind of.
Kind of.
It's called Lightning Lanes.
Oh yeah. Fast pass, like.
Basically, it's
Yeah.
$15 a head every day. Mm-hmm. And you can only use it 3 times.
Yep.
And not every ride is eligible for it because they only do so many.
Right. I know. So.
Then they have other rides that are so in demand that they charge a premium just to have the right to do it.
Bougie.
Yeah. So I'm like busting my ass to try to figure this out. And we're only in that park one day. So my wife and I get up at 7 a.m. because that's when they open up the virtual queue. And she's like, you got to call the front desk. You got to make something work. Like, I can only get you in the ride. Because like the Disney app is a nightmare. The thing was crashing on me all the time. It was screwing up. And they want everything to be done through the app now. Ordering your food.
Oh, I have the app and the fast pass story for you.
Perfect.
After you finish.
So I'm trying to get like us synced up, and we've been having issues with the app every day. Finally, we were able to get me in for 5:45 that night, 7 a.m. And they've moved through all the queues. It's almost over.
Damn.
We get one in, and then like we're on the phone with the Disney magic nerds, and the guy's like, "Look," he's like, "the problem is that they have to be all on your hotel reservation to make this work." And I'm like, "Well, can you just link them?" And they're like, "Oh, the hotel you're in, even though it's on resort, is owned by Marriott." And I'm like, "Okay, well then can Marriott put them all on a reservation?" They're like, "They can. It takes 3 to 5 days."
So you're saying though lightning pass or whatever had to be attached to the same
Hotel reservation, because otherwise you have to be on the premises of the park.
So
at
why
7
did
a.m.
the family have something different than you?
Well, it all part of app nonsense.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
So we called the Disney magic people 7 a.m, just complaining. And the guy's like, "I'm overriding the system. I've got it taken care of." He's like, "Here's what you need to do. I've got it in the system. You just need to go to one of the guest experience people when you get into the park.
Right.
Tell them what happened, that you're staying in this resort, and then they'll just put them on your lightning lane." And I was like, hell yeah. All right. So we walk in, we go over to the Disney guest experience people, and I'm like, all right, I have my pass, and I just want to get them on here, like hook it up. And the girl looks at me and goes, "I can't do that." And I go, no. The Disney magic person this morning at 7 a.m. said all I had to do was come talk to you. She goes, "Yeah, it wasn't sold out then. It's sold out. I can't help you." And I'm like, what? And my wife is like, "Just go ride it without us at 5:45.
So remind me, what time does the actual gates open to walk into the park?
Like 8:30. But if I'm standing outside of the gate at 7, like right at the gate, then I'm in the geofence and I can do it. So all the nerds are there an hour and a half early sipping coffee, and I'm trying to do the loophole from the resort. Oh, and it bumped me out. And then so I'm like, but they said, she's like, "Sir, I cannot help you." And I was like, "You've made that very clear. But the problem is, I was told, and I've been trying to do this for years. Like, come on, you got to make this happen." And I'm getting like, noticeably.
This is the. You know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation.
Yeah, that's basically where I was. And I was like, you are failing me. Like, what are you doing? Like, I was told this would work. And she was like, "You can try at the main guest services up front." And I'm like, I've already been kind of like getting mad, and I'm huffing and puffing. And after I walk away from her, I just stand there over her shoulder for a little bit. Finally, I calmed down. My wife's like, "Well, let's go do something else." And I'm like, this isn't over. And I walked all the way across that park to the main guest services, and I practiced my
Speech.
gentle, nice speech. And I was like, all right, we're going to start with, I'm looking for a Disney miracle. And that's where we're going to start. I had to breathe and calm myself down. I wait in the line for the guest experience. I finally get up there, and I got my whole speech ready to go. And see his name tag. I'm like, Sean.
Oh, no. You're about to get unloaded on.
I'm so calm at this point because I realize you get more flies with honey.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
I know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Sean, I truly need a Disney miracle today. And I'm hoping you're the one who can help me. I'm like, I've been trying to get on Rise of Resistance for 2 years, back when they used to have this system over here.
Right.
Clearly it didn't work. Now I'm back in Disney. And I was told this morning that I could. I had this whole speech, and he's just looking at me. Finally, he goes, yeah, you know who screwed you here is Marriott. Like the Swan Resort's owned by Marriott. He's like, but I can give you that Disney miracle. I was like, what? He goes, give me a second. He goes in, he overrides everything, and he's like, it won't show up in your thing, but trust me, when you show up there, the rest of your party's getting in. I'll be damned if he didn't pull it off. So Sean from Philly,
Right.
shout out. So you are my guy.
So how long did you have to stand in line, or do you show up for a time frame?
You show up at your time, and you go like right in. It was probably 10 minutes.
And so did you just have to tell your name, or did people like,
No, you have a
recognize-
little card. And it's like,
Oh,
boom,
okay.
and like it either works or it doesn't.
I got you.
And so we got in, we rocked it, and I would say the ride was awesome. Like it was pretty cool. It's a weird ride. It's like you sit in a car and there's no track. It's almost like there's a magnet underneath the floor, and it drives you around and spins you around through all these experiences. And there's physical people who come out and they're like, "You're under arrest. You're coming with us," and like they move you into another jail area, and then like
Damn.
you walk into this one room and there's like 150 stormtroopers. Like you're just in this cavernous room with stormtroopers. Like, whoa. It's definitely an experience.
So it's
Like, it
more
was-
than 4D. It's
Oh yeah. It's the
busy
real
to get
deal.
up and move.
It's wild. And then various things happen. Like your cart will drop in a room and then all of a sudden the floor drops out and it goes down and then races out another way. And like, you'll see like Sith Lords come out and like found them. And then like they're shooting stuff and you see the metal around you like getting hot from it's
Damn.
wild how they did it. In the end though, I don't think I would have waited 2.5 hours for that ride. I would have been pissed.
yeah.
But I've been waiting 2.5 years,
Yeah.
so it was awesome.
Plus you had to work the system. Like it didn't matter. The ride could have been the worst thing ever, but you were dead set and you put the effort in to get it there. And
Dude, I've been trying
pulled
for
it off.
2.5
Yeah.
years. Yeah, I finally got it.
So the Disney app, this was my experience with that Disney app was completely different because this was 8 years ago. Because
Oh, the app was rudimentary.
well, no, it hadn't. Yeah, it was rudimentary. But so when you walk into Magic Kingdom, right there on Main Street, and it's all the shops and stuff, that you could, as you start to walk, and two guest services or whatever you call them, lady with a clipboard walks out, and at this time, selling billboards and liking advertising and marketing and dealing with surveys, lady came out and she said, "Hey, would you mind taking a survey for us on this new thing we're trying to do?"
You're like,
And I
of
was
course.
like, sure. I said, like, how long is it going to take? She said, well, 20 minutes, maybe, max.
Oof.
I said, and the girls were shopping. So I was like, whatever, I'll do it. So I fill out all this questionnaire and survey. And what it was they wanted to do my profile, basically, and
Okay.
then say, okay, well, this is this type of person. And they said, what we want you to do is we want you to go to your phone and download this app.
Oh.
And
See if your type likes it.
They were testing out the app and the Fast Pass. Nobody had it yet. So
Wild.
not only did they load the app, I didn't have to go to a kiosk and do the Fast Pass and everything because it was all manual. You had to order it ahead of time. You had to go somewhere, pick it
That's
up,
how it always was.
and you only got like 3 or 4 rides
Yep.
with the Fast Pass. Well, because I took the time, they said, okay, well, we're now let you use the app. You don't need the actual band or whatever it was for a Fast Pass. And you got unlimited for doing this for us.
No way.
So I downloaded, plus they gave me a $75 gift card, which we used at Gaston's Tavern to eat.
Get some turkey legs.
So
yeah, you're living the dream.
And it was already the lows. Like this was We went like March 15th. This was
So you rode all the rides.
rode all the rides. I mean, I joke because my girls and their mom surprised me for my 40th birthday with the Disney trip.
Great.
So my actual birthday, the day of my actual birthday, I was on It's a Small World ride for my 40th birthday.
That's heartbreaking.
They'd already had a surprise. I mean, you knew about the surprise party, but I'd already had my surprise party earlier.
Yeah.
But that was just lucked out. And that was when, so we rode everything and we skipped. We were like in every fast pass line there was.
I mean,
And
that's pretty badass.
But most of the time, you got to just, you never know with guest services or those people. It's like, what do they want?
That's why I'd realized I'd completely failed the first time. Yeah. Like I got in her craw and I was like, this isn't working.
Oh,
so I had to rehearse a speech. And sure enough, when I was nice, yeah, they make it happen.
Yeah.
They just want you to be nice.
I guess so.
I mean, they deal with assholes all day, every day.
Yeah. Especially in that industry, I'm sure there's a shit ton that happens.
I mean, it's the worst job. You're the IT guy for all of the redneck hicks at Disney.
You're right. And plus people are already not that it's not cheap for anyone to go. But there's families who their whole year of savings is for this trip.
They're pinching every penny. They're putting every dime in the jar.
Right. So they're already stressed because this is what they're not, but you're to the hilt already. And then something bad goes wrong. Who are you going to take it off on?
Yeah, that's the problem.
And
it's these poor guest services people.
Yeah.
It's a brutal job.
It worked out for you, man.
In the end.
In the end. Yeah. It's, man. So are you headed out of town again anytime soon?
I sure hope not.
I don't have any. I'm actually here for this entire month.
So you're going to be on the
going,
podcast.
I can podcast for like the next 3 weeks, but then I'm going to a celebration of life in Chicago for my girlfriend's brother.
That's unfortunate.
But
I mean, it'll be a good time. But
yeah,
those are never easy.
This
is the 1 year anniversary, right?
No, actually, this is not the 1 year. This is it's his actual birthday weekend.
Okay.
And a lot of people that couldn't make it to the celebration of life because it was
COVID.
No, this was just back in March or something like that.
Well, weren't you one of those people, unfortunately?
Yes. No. Yeah. So it was COVID. I couldn't because Chicago had locked down.
Yeah.
On vaccines.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
You were pissed.
I didn't go, and
well, I'm glad you get to go this time, even though it's not.
Yeah, it's a birthday celebration of life for a lot of people that couldn't make it, and so I'll be heading up to Chicago, which is your favorite town, apparently.
Apparently, dude, my girls, while we were in Disney, they were like, "When are we going to a Cubs game again?" I was like, "These are my kids. Like, this is all right.
Yeah.
Like, they want to go back to Chicago to catch a Cubs game," and I'm absolutely down. I just got to find a weekend, like,
just to do it. Yeah,
fly them on down there.
I got the chance to go up to New York. Went and caught a Mets game versus Seattle. Saw Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah,
he pitched. No, Verlander. No, yeah, who was it? I can't even remember.
I can't tell the story for you, Stu.
I'm trying to remember who the starting pitcher was, but
I see that
for the Mets, and
I'm watching the wheels turn.
I didn't realize who it was until he started, and I was like, "Oh, that's a name brand guy." Either way, crazy. Citi Field is crazy. I mean, that's an awesome ballpark. It's newer. It's in the middle of nowhere, but
isn't it in like Flushing or some shit? It's like right across from where
it's what's the other airport? JFK and
LaGuardia.
You literally watch the planes take off from like there was a low rain mist at the national when they sang the national anthem, and the plane was doing a flyover for the national anthem, and you couldn't really see them. You couldn't tell if it was the actual flyover or it was just another plane that takes off every 8 minutes or every 3 minutes from the
it kind of lessens the impact of a flyover if you get a couple dozen every game.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, you could see it, but that was, and if you have the opportunity, One World Trade that's a damn tall building, the new one.
Yeah, I've seen it, and that whole 9/11 memorial is sad.
Yeah,
that thing is brutal.
Yeah, it's that was a nice little walk around, but then went up and had a gin and tonic on the very top floor and looked out all over New York, and I think we may have talked about this before, but as I've gotten older, my fear of heights has increased.
100%. Mine too.
I'm like, well,
Yeah, I never used to be scared of heights. Been skydiving, done all that shit.
Yeah.
Every year I get older, I'm like, oh, that seems stupid. Why would I do that?
You know, I walk up to the window just to kind of see, and I'm like, you get this little,
I don't even clean the gutters anymore. Like, I'm like, nope. Like the slope on that roof is ridiculous. And I can remember at our first house, I was up there installing gutter, hanging off the edge, installing stuff. Like, never bothered me. And
I think it's the realization that you know, when you're younger, you're like, you got all this time.
yeah,
And then
now
when
you're
a
like,
little
this
older-
could be how it ends.
Yeah, you're like, well, I don't have as much time.
Unfortunately, I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, it's but hey, go to Disney.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Or don't. COVID capital of the world.
Damn.
Like, it's shocking how many people came back from that trip. Like, coworkers. They're all just like, COVID.
I would imagine because what's crazy is that you can go anywhere, like a traveling wise, anywhere without a COVID test, but you have to have one to get back in the States.
Yeah, that's why I don't go out of the country. At least at the moment.
Yeah.
At least at the moment. Or if I go somewhere where you don't mind getting stranded.
That's
You know?
true.
You find yourself in the Dominican, you're like, this is going to wear thin. Yeah. I was going to wear a condom, but then I thought,
No.
when would I be in Haiti again? Bad idea, jeans.
No.
Little throwback. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We'll be talking to you next week. And if you haven't had a chance to rate or review the show, please do. Or Cincinnati Swap somebody. Grab their phone, sign them up for the podcast. We would certainly appreciate it. It seems like we are not that far away from listeners to being a bigger podcast than we realize.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. So, yeah, please do
Oh, and
grab your friend's phone and sign them up.
I'm definitely check out Screen Door Mortgage. Got to give a shout out to Jimmy. He's been helping me out with
Of course, he's the best.
right now. So
He's the best. Let him know Inside the Pallet House sent you. He'll take care of you. He'll make life a lot easier. That much is for certain.
definitely.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, no, peace out. He's grown up. You're worldly now. I dig it. That was a really good podcast, don't you think?